Hey everyone, it's Miles Greb, and I'm just gonna pop into Ellie Drawing, issue number 5 of After the Gold Rush, and do a little commentary of her art video. I was gonna have her do the commentary herself, but she was feeling a little shy, and you guys know I'm not, so I'm happy to do it. Anyways, After the Gold Rush number 5 is live on Kickstarter for about 10 more days if you know. We're funded, but we're still trying to push here so we can get more content in the book and maybe hit our stretch goal to make the full graphic novel because I know people have been asking about that from me a lot. But anyways, After Gold Rush 5, I'm really excited about because it's going to be 32 pages, and that's a larger than our normal books, which are 22. Mostly because when I was writing it, I had a bunch of little things I wanted to add there because I kind of wanted to give a sense of conclusion to the scout returning home and meeting people and what's going to happen next in the story. And so I wanted to make sure all the characters we were introduced to, like the Axeman, Pre, Gutenberg, Scout, and of course the dog all have kind of their moment and a chance to learn more about them and do something in the script. So anyways, you can see Ellie, who has been drawing after Gold Rush 4, took over duties from Isaac LaRosa, and she is drawing number 5 as well. Isaac's still helping with concept art and stuff, so we're all still a team, but Ellie's taking over the inks for the time being. Isaac may draw an issue or two in the future, but Ellie's doing a great job, and I'm really excited to have her on the book. So right here we can see her drawing and inking over Scout's pretty messy hair. Of course, Scout grew up on a moon, and moons aren't well known for having a lot of people be picky about your hair. So she doesn't really, brush her hair much or care about that kind of stuff. She just kind of lets it hang. Um, yeah, it's interesting to see different people draw Scout because she has a lot of different emotions. Of course, she's a biologist and a chemist, and she's really educated on those things. But she's still just a young person. She's still a young girl, and she still responds kind of strongly to people. Sometimes she's rash, sometimes she's happy or brave. But I kind of think a lot of that's in her hair. You can see it kind of bob around silly or hang sad in front of her face or kind of fluff up and move when she's running. You can see that like in issue 3, which Isaac drew, but same concept like when she's running down that hill. Um, you can see her giving Gutenberg the side eye here. Gutenberg's just right to off frame to the right there. It's interesting to see them together. I always kind of picture them like almost dancing around each other in the scene, so I really like that. Or just zooming out a bit here, you can see some of the more pencils pop in. This is Scout here. Basically, she's going to Lutheran. When we zoom out on this full page, you'll quickly see this is one of the spreads in issue 5. So, we've kind of mentioned it before that the capital city of the world is Lutheran. It's the largest settlement known to exist still on the Earth at this time in the year 2449. And so, Scout saw a village in issue 3. Of course, she was put up for a witch trial, and she escaped thanks to better living through chemistry. Um, but this time, I think she's a little more brave and kind of aware of her surroundings. She knows that people don't really trust her, but she isn't really content with that. Um, a couple of people have mentioned, like, why does Scout keep trusting these people to not be afraid of her? Well, she doesn't, especially not anymore. She now is well aware of the way they act to her, but I don't think she is content with that behavior. She doesn't feel like she's done anything wrong, and she thinks that these people are afraid of things that could help them, especially science. Or if you notice, some of the people tend to be hungry and needing food, and she's a biologist who specializes in agriculture, so she's like the perfect person to help them. So yeah, just gonna cut ahead here in a sec. Okay, back into the frame, just jumping ahead a bit, you can see the top 2 panels have their inks all done, and she's just finishing up here. There's a bunch of villagers penciled in, like I was mentioning before. It's kind of just showing that Scout's becoming more aware of kind of her role here. And you can see a bit more of Lutheran to the right. We added a bunch of cool details in it. I actually showed off the page of inks, I think, on one of the Kickstarter updates, but I didn't want to we removed some of the details because I think they look cool. I'm kind of waiting until it's all colored. But Mike is coloring that now, and he'll be done probably in a few days, and we'll show that off as a big update. But drawing the villagers is fun. I think you notice both Ellie and Isaac, they draw a bit more sketchy. They kind of have more rough kind of edges, and Scout more has her clean, kind of retro-looking sci-fi suit with the bright colors and the sleek lines, and they're of course rougher because that society has only been here so long, and their clothes are really built off the land. So it's kind of interesting to see that design choice from the way they're drawn there. as opposed to the sleekness of Scout. And I'm just going to cut ahead here. Okay, jumping ahead here. Actually, I've jumped behind. I'm kind of doing this out of order, but I can do it in either order I want. So here's a little earlier part of her drawing. You can see where more of the town of Lutheran. Isaac and I had been kind of figuring out how to set up Lutheran for quite a while, and it's cool to see Elli finally draw it. You know, there's not a lot of metal, if really any metal at all, in the After the Gold Rush universe. It's not there. So most things are made out of adobe or brick or wood or hay or other kind of you know, non-alloyed materials. And so we didn't want the town to be too high. This is about as vertical as we could really get away with. The other towns have much less verticality, so this is like the kind of the tallest buildings you're going to find in the world. And you know, we got a lot of hay roofs. These windows that they have aren't really windows. These are just I was looking into it, and it looks like historically people just had those wooden frames across their windows anyway. Not by windows, I mean glass. So that's why we stuck with that design. There's actually going to be some really cool stuff here that you won't see in this actual video, but there'll be a lot of cool paintings and little cultural things in this scene that I'll show off when it's finished, but I didn't kind of want to spoil them. But I wanted you guys to get a look at Elli drawing here. I don't have a whole lot of videos of this kind of stuff, and it's just kind of cool to show the process. You know, I don't know how many people are interested in that, but it's cool to see Elli draw it because, you know, I've been thinking about how this world's going to look for quite a while. You know, I started the story 3 years ago, and I knew that they were going to get to Lutheran in issue 5. And I guess if you look at that Chris Lewis Lee poster we had for the first After Gold Rush, the first Kickstarter, and is the really rare variant print of issue 1, you can actually see Scout looking out over it. I guess it was the first time it was ever drawn, but this is the first time we really get to see it. And it's going to be cool, her being here and the people she meets. And I think you guys are really going to like the story. But yeah, it was just fun to do this little video. I think I'm going to cut it short here because I don't want to say too much more about the story, really, because I really want you guys to enjoy it in its proper form in the comic book. But I wanted to make a little video. Be sure to follow Elli on Twitter. It's just her full name's her Twitter, or on Instagram, same thing. If you don't know how to spell her last name, just check it out on the Kickstarter. And you guys can follow me, you know, at Gold Rush, of course, on Twitter, or just Miles Greb on Instagram. And thanks so much for backing the book. And if you guys haven't backed the book, you know, check out the Kickstarter, and I appreciate if you shared. And yeah, thanks for being fans of After the Gold Rush and just checking out indie comics in general. Cheers, guys. Take care.